amazing video you shot for your business last year? What are you using it for now? At Leighton Engage, we can help you reach your potential customers through streaming TV, utilizing your video. We can help you create content or maximize your investment you already made and help drive real results. No wasted effort, just effective marketing. Leighton Engage. Find your focus. Get in touch today and make sense of digital marketing.
Text SPORTS to 321-1926 for the latest KBRF sports broadcast schedule.
Where did summer go? Didn't you just get the boat out of storage? Then let me guess, you're going to take it out of the lake, drain the fluids, shrink wrap it, and store it? This is where Extreme Marine of Fergus Falls comes in. One call and Extreme Marine will come to the lake, pick up your boat or pontoon, winterize it, shrink wrap it, store it for you, and have it ready for you in the spring. And all you have to do is pick up a phone. And if you want a new dock, Extreme Marine has the full line of porta-docks ready for you. Extreme Marine on Highway 210 East, Fergus Falls.
If you're in town for Wausoda, you absolutely must visit Premier Meats and Seafood. Ask any local, and they'll tell you if you're going to throw something on the grill or in the smoker, this is the place like no other. Premier Meats and Seafood, trust us. Go now, next to Fleet Farm.
Up to 12 months free hosting and maintenance on your new website. People are searching for your products and services online right now. Are you showing up? At Leighton Engage, we make websites that tell your story and drive results.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Grant County. Your news leader is News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus Falls. Depend on it.
News Talk 1250 KBRF now presents The Coaches Show with Craig Olson. Brought to you by Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, LB Homes, American Federal Bank, American Legion, the Minnesota Motor Company, and by the Arneson Agency. Here's KBRF Sports Director Craig Olson.
Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school.
It was Friday night, all right, so there was a lot going on last night. We're going to catch you up here with the football scores. Otters went to 3-0. They beat Detroit Lakes 35-21. OTC won a shootout with Hillcrest 38-36. Overtime for the second straight week for Underwood. They were at Brandon Evansville, Ashby, Brandon Evansville. The Bolts winning in OT 32-26. West Central area beat Long Prairie Gray Eagle 50-7. It was Border West 49, Rothsay 20. Barnesville over Pelican Rapids 38-16. East Grand Forks, the homecoming opponent for the Otters next Friday, took care of business against Perham 33-8. Pillager knocked off Breckenridge 27-19. Parker's Prairie blanked New York Mills 22-0. Hawley rolled over Roseau 50-16. Frazee won 41-16 over Crookston. Hancock 60, Ortonville 6. Wadena Deer Creek over Pine River Bacchus 28-16. Verndale took care of LaPorte 68-8. And DGF was a 40-8 winner over Thief River Falls. The Lady Spartans were in Wisconsin last night. A long trek there, and they came home with a win. So that ride home's always better when you win. 3-1 for the Lady Spartans over Western Tech. And the Spartan men today are at NDSCS over in Wahpeton. They play at 1:30. And we have Bison football for you today at 4:30, pregame at 3:30 on Real Rock Z103. And then on Real Rock Z103 tomorrow at noon, it's the Vikings and the 49ers in week 2 of the NFL season. We're going to start the program with Derek Meyer, the head coach of the Otter Boys cross country team. They were in Little Falls on Thursday, the Lucky Lindy Invitational. The Otters were third on the boys' side. Girls didn't have a full team competing there, but we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. But Derek, that competition at the Lucky Lindy, Perham, Marshall, Fergus Falls, 1, 2, 3. But how good is it to have the competition that you had on Thursday at this time of the year for your kids to really see some top-level competition?
Oh, it's great. Just an opportunity to see where we're at and where we stand and how things are going. And, you know, weather was a big factor on Thursday to kind of how our performance was. But, you know, I told the guys after the race I hadn't seen any results. I hadn't seen any scores. They just raced. They raced aggressive. They made moves. They were putting themselves into position and just kind of setting themselves up to what we will need to do at section time, because at that point it doesn't matter what your time is, it's just where we place and what our team score ends up. So it was great to kind of put ourselves in a little bit of a mindset and a practice session to have that in against a team that we'll see in our section, and then most likely a couple teams will hopefully see at the state level too.
Now, you in cross country always have a different course. Last week it was hilly over in Detroit Lakes. This week at Little Falls, there aren't any hills, right? It's just flat.
There's one hill.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very flat, kind of down. It's down by the river there, so it's a river bottom area, and it's a very nice course. But it definitely times reflected the weather and the humidity. Very few kids had a season best performance. Most got close, a couple PR'd, here and there, but it's just kind of variable, and some other kids have got some other things going on that we're working through, and I'm always thankful for those to work through at the beginning of the season, not the end of the season.
So how much do you vary your race strategy when the course is so different from week to week like that? When you have that flat course, how do you adjust your mentality to your race focus?
Yeah, terrain is definitely a part of that. Leading into Detroit Lakes, it was definitely an emphasis on some hill training. This was just kind of coming in, was just being able to kind of strategize of where we would want to do with some race things, and knowing that we were going to be able to have maybe a little extra oomph on some spots, and maybe push on some type of surge stuff, and really identify some of the teams and racers that we wanted to get after and try to reach for that.
You've got some guys who have been running together for a long time, have been very successful for you at the varsity race, and prior to that even, when they were younger, have had great success as a group, and they're pushing each other here. You've got a few guys that are just really good for each other, I would think, in the training process.
Yeah, our top four there are really close in their cluster, and Henry took the top spot at this meet. He just passed Jaden Miller at the last 200, kind of going by him, and it's great for him, great confidence for him, and it's always going to seem like for these guys it's going to be a week to week and where they're at. And Logan Bradenberg came in our third spot there, and he was just under 17 minutes. He was one of the few that had a little bit of a PR. I think it was about 6 seconds that from his lifetime. So he's already hitting his lifetime moments in this early part of the season. So he's came in fit and strong. And then Michael Schmidt, he was our top dog last week in DL. He put together a great race. And another thing I talked about with the kids is you're not always going to put together your best race every race. And, whether you're sick or you're just not feeling it, the weather gets you with the heat and things like that. But he still put together a great race, and he was just a couple seconds off of what his time was last week in a tough course. So yeah, just trying to build consistency and some familiarity with some of those aches and pains, so then we can just push through and be a better team and runners after the fact.
Well, and after your top four, the 5, 6, 7, there's not a lot of room from 5 through 7 second-wise. They're pretty close as far as their times go, and I would guess they're pretty interchangeable. Some days you might see Matthew Toole, as we did at Little Falls, taking your number 5 spot, but Brody Nelson and Micah Mosier were right on his heels.
They're that was a couple seconds beyond them. I think it even interchanged. Well, I think Matthew got Brody last week too, but that was just a couple of seconds, so they're right there. And then I think a couple weeks ago, I think Brody might have taken Matthew, and Mike has been right there too. And that group this year is a lot tighter for our 5, 6, and 7. I think we've been more of a after our 5th spot, we've been a minute or a minute and a half back. So we've tightened up that, and I expect it to get a little bit closer to our entire top 7 will be within hopefully a minute of each other.
What's really great, too, about what you have going on is you had a full JV team, you had a full junior high team. They get to compete in all these meets. They went out and took second, both of them, in the races. Now, I know not every program has the numbers that the Otters are fortunate to have right now, so there maybe aren't as many teams as you see in the varsity competition, but overall, your junior high and your junior varsity guys really had a great day, taking second place to an outstanding Perham program.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say, looking at the numbers, Perham is probably the only other program there that had the numbers of the kids. I mean, and it really allows us to kind of see the future and play with our depth a little bit of if things happen and we need to have somebody there. And it's great to have that amount of kids out, and I know that they're all having fun, and they all feed off of each other, and it's fun to kind of have those extra divisions for them to be able to kind of compete and feel that success too, because they get awards and they come out of the chute, and it's something a little extra to push them, and they did a great job. And I keep looking at this junior high group of it. It really reminds me of our current varsity kids, because when they were running as 7th and 8th graders, it really has the same reminiscent feeling of how those guys right now were performing, and they were, being in the top parts of the meets, and I think that's just exciting for the future of our program, and I can just know that just the mentality of these kids, they have the same drive, and it's just going to keep going forward. So I'm excited, and just hope to keep reloading year after year.
How much do you kind of lean on your current varsity guys to help with those young kids and kind of inspire them and encourage them?
Oh, a ton. And the kids love to just interact with them, and they are very, very involved with sticking with them, doing things with them. Maybe they take a day, it's an easy day, they'll come back and kind of hang out with. I remember Jaden a couple weeks ago, he ran back with the junior high kids, and they found a stick on the road, and they were passing it around like a baton and doing a little, combo run there. And so that was really fun to watch, and I bet those guys just really had a lot of fun with it too.
On the girls' side, did not have a full team. There were some conflicts there. Didn't have the full team that the Otters usually have, but the girls that were there, well, Cassie Wellman took second overall, and what a great start to the season for Cassie.
Yeah, Cassie is, another great race. She had a lifetime PR. We're 3 races in, and she's already surpassed her best of all. She's kind of taken out her prior competition that she had last year. Last week it was Lauren Eilers from Wilmer that I think she took the top spot in the section last year. Cassie beat her last week. Isabel Mahoney from Monticello was the #1 ranked runner right now in the state, and Cassie's 25 seconds behind her, and it's kind of exciting when you can look forward in your race and you can see where first place is, and it's just a testament to the hard work she's put in the summer, and she's just come in a different, stronger runner, great focus, and very exciting, and I used her as a little, we did a little workout yesterday, and I used her as a fun example of what she was doing. She surged 13 times in her race on Thursday, to just kind of pushing herself and keeping herself through, and that was something we trained in yesterday. It was just some surging, so it's kind of a fun little tool. She didn't know that I analyzed her heart rate from her race, and you can kind of see where it spikes up and then it levels out, and so.
You can even analyze their heart rates in this day and age.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't get it, but there's a lot I don't get. How about Savannah Lee's race? Best season best time for her in not, like you said, not great conditions to run.
Right, season best time. She dropped a half a second from last week. Not a big drop, but I mean, still you're running your best for the season, and she's looking strong, and of course she's like all the kids. They're gonna drop and they're gonna build on, and it's just kind of that mentality of getting yourself through tough conditions, and you know, if you struggle in the heat, well, we'll probably be running in the snow.
That's true. Lydia Uggerud made her varsity debut, and yeah, I think there's always got to be extra nerves when that's happening. I mean, first varsity race. Maybe that's a good setting to have it in, though, that type of a course. Maybe not the hot, humid conditions, but how do you think Lydia responded to that pressure maybe that you put on yourself when you finally are on the varsity?
I think she did great. She ran a complete race, a comfortable race, and when you have a big race like Little Falls, you got a lot of people around you that, you know, there's just that many bodies, so you don't find yourself as far into the you know, a lot of blank spots where you're running by yourself, so there's just a lot more kids to run with, and it just kind of helps carry yourself through. So she's definitely an up-and-coming runner, and we'll definitely look for her to hopefully stick around in that top 7 for the girls.
And Olivia Swanson completed the 4 varsity runners you had at Little Falls for the girls. And Nikki Weldy, the head coach of the girls, said to me that she's been a real leader on the team with her positive attitude, and her times are going to continue to drop. She's working hard at that.
Yeah, definitely. She's always got a smile on her face too when she's running, and yeah, she's definitely been an awesome addition to the team as a senior.
Here's to a great season.
You know, joining in with that leadership and that hard work, and kind of she sticks with kids in practice and runs with them and encourages them, and she, you know, on top of all those characteristic attributes, you know, she's a great runner too, and is definitely going to be a contributor down the line too.
At Ricori Thursday, you're going to see a lot of your Central Lakes Conference section opponents, maybe?
Yes, I believe that they'll, kind of looking at the list, it'll be somewhat of the same. There'll be a couple different teams. I think last year, and looking at the same, there's Wyzetta. Looks like they're going to bring a group there, and Stillwater. So a couple bigger programs. Big Lake, another one that's in our Class AA that we don't typically get to see. So some of those southern city-esque teams that will be there, but yeah, also some of our Central Lakes and section teams too. So yeah, just a good overall. And there's a decent amount of teams there. I think over 15. So it's a nice place, and their course it's a fair course. It's fairly flat, but it ends on a hill. So that's always a favorite of the kids.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, here comes the hill. All right, Derek, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Craig.
All right, Derek Meyer, his Otter boys took 3rd at the Lucky Lindy Invitational this past week. And we're going to talk Otter football, another win for Chris Grabowska's guys as they beat a good Detroit Lakes team last night. We'll find out how they did it after this timeout. You're listening to our Super Sports Saturday Morning Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Student athletes have their eyes on the ball, making game plans, scoring points, breaking records. At American Federal in Fergus Falls, we know you have goals too. Whether it's buying farmland, business expansion, home ownership, or planning for retirement. Our trusted advisor, Dustin Morris, will help you find the best solutions and make the right calls. Make a winning appointment with an American Federal banker in Fergus Falls today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan.
Oh, come on, ref!
That's simple human sense.
Visit the Arneson Agency at their new location, 120 East Lincoln, Fergus Falls.
Up to 12 months free hosting and maintenance when you start a new website project at Leighton Engage. Is your website grabbing attention or getting lost in the crowd? At Leighton Engage, we create websites that don't just look good, they work hard.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Hey, welcome back. It's Saturday morning, and we're talking, a lot of sports. Right now, we're talking Otter football. Chris Grabowska is in the studio with us. Otters are 3-0, scoring a lot of points. Let's see, my quick Detroit Lakes High School math, by the way. You beat my alma mater last night, but hey, that's okay. But you scored 127 points in 3 weeks.
Yep, yeah. That's all the credit to the kids. We got some playmakers out there. We got a great line opening up holes and protecting our quarterback. And, you know, these kids have worked hard, started in the weight room. And I just can't say enough about our weight program. And we got a new weight room this year. The kids are really bought into that, and they're seeing the fruits of their labor right now.
And it's 122 points. My math was not too good, actually. But, yeah, the big plays were very evident last night. I mean, Henry had 4 touchdown passes, Henry Bethel. And the play of the night had to be the 85-yarder to Isaiah Holmes from your own 15-yard line. The thing that happened multiple times last night, Chris, when you had offense and big plays, 3rd down and 7 there, you converted a 3rd and 27 earlier to keep the scoring drive going. There's no down that kind of puts you in a position where you feel like you can't make it happen, right?
Yeah, well, we don't want to make a habit of getting those 3rd and long situations, but, you know, it's just, we challenged the kids this week, you know, after that big win in DGF to not have a letdown, and we have to execute at a higher level than Detroit Lakes, and I feel like we really did that last night, and got in some situations where we definitely could have laid down, and we didn't do that. We responded really well, and Henry's doing a great job just kind of driving our offense right now and getting the ball out quick to his playmakers, and he's trusting his teammates around him, and that's really great to see, and he feels like he doesn't have to do everything himself. He's got playmakers around him.
Henry got you on the board. He scored on a 23-yard touchdown run early on, and again, I mean, he's just so good at not only throwing the ball, but recognizing when he's got an opportunity to run, and makes a lot of things happen. And the defenses have to be on their toes with him holding the ball.
Yeah, I think Detroit Lakes had a game plan. You can kind of tell they're spying Henry a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that was a design run play, and he just saw a hole, and once he sees a hole, he's got the chance to score every time.
DL on a 70-yard scoring drive right after that, and showed you, hey, this is not going to be easy tonight, folks. We're going to give you a battle. But was that kind of a wake-up call too for your defense, maybe? Because boy, after that, your defense, I think you had 5 times where DL had the ball, and you stopped them on downs, didn't let them continue a drive. So they seemed to react pretty well after that first drive.
Yeah, you know, our defense's mindset is bend, don't break mentality, and we know there's a lot of good teams that on our schedule. It doesn't get any easier next week, and I think week by week is always a tough opponent, and, you know, our defense really stepped up, and teams are going to make drives, and we just got to be able to respond mentally as a team, and our kids are doing a great job of doing that.
Let's talk about the pass routes that these guys are running, because the next touchdown you scored, a 19-yard touchdown pass to Alex Ellison, and then the next possession, 3rd and 27, with the play I mentioned where Henry connected with Isaiah Holmes to keep that drive alive. How are the routes right now? You've got a lot of receivers involved in this game, and I would guess they're figuring out a way to get open.
Yeah, you know, we feel like we were pretty deep at receiver position. You know, the first couple of games, I feel like it was really focused on Levi King and Jack Ratz, and I was really happy to see Ellison and Holmes get some touches and scores last night, so it just kind of shows that we can spread the ball out a little bit, and every one of those guys brings a little bit different thing to the table. But yeah, I think on Ellison's score, it was just great blocking. You know, it was a design outside screenplay. And he had some great blocking in front of him, is able to break one. And Holmes was just a great heads-up play by him on one of his scores. If I remember right, it was kind of a broken play. We were running some slant routes, and Henry scrambled, and he found an open spot and scored a touchdown. So, you know, just a lot of reaction to what, a lot of it's running good routes, and also reaction to what the defense has shown us.
And it seems like, too, they've got good hands, these receivers. You're not dropping a lot of passes from what I'm hearing when I'm listening to the broadcast.
Yeah, they do. They work hard on that every day in practice, and they take great pride in not dropping balls. And we got a saying, you know, we want every ball on offense and defense, and our kids are winning most of the balls, so that's great to see.
Talking Otter football with Chris Grabowska, the head coach. The Otters were victorious last night, 35-21 at Detroit Lakes. A great win for the Otters, who are now 3-0 on the season. Also, you know, Jaden Hikas has been, well, he's perfect last night. All right, 5 extra point kicks. You know, how great is that for a coach to know you got a, I don't want to call it automatic, but it sure seems like it. If you snap the ball and get the hold down, he's going to make the kick. But you've got a kicker that's consistent there. How confident are you in using Jaden in field goals, possibly moving forward, and what is kind of the cap on his range?
Yeah, you know, really proud of that unit, and Jaden especially. I think, you know, if you go back to week 1, it's like, oh, that's a little bit of a question mark. But we put in the time, and Jaden's put in extra time, and Carl Hauser has been working with him a little bit. So we definitely got that part of our game fixed, and last night he was perfect. You can just see his confidence level rise. It's really fun to see. And, I mean, the kids, he can kick the ball, definitely. And we would be very comfortable in a field goal situation if we needed him, and we practiced that a lot in practice, and he's got decent range. I would say he's probably, you know, in the low 40s maybe. If we got in that situation, wouldn't be afraid to do that.
Okay. How about the confidence level right now of your offensive line as a group? You mentioned the blocking on the couple of pass plays, and how your guys who have the ball are reading the blocks and taking advantage of the blocks that they're getting. But overall, how confident do you see that unit, that offensive line unit right now?
Well, they're the heartbeat of our offense, and very confident in them. They put in so much work. I mentioned on earlier shows, you know, those guys they started in the wintertime. They really transformed, you know, their bodies and their mindsets, and most of them, almost every one of them, are a 2-year starter now. So they understand assignments. They understand what we're trying to do. They understand where the holes are and where the running backs need to cut and see and all that stuff. And those guys beg to run the ball. And when the offensive line is begging you to run the ball, that's a great sign.
I like that, yeah. And, you know, not only the offensive line, but last night your defensive line, your defensive unit, really, as we mentioned, you had 5 times where you turned the Lakers over on downs, so your line and your linebackers are doing a job there. But Bob Rohr's broadcaster last night for us was so impressed with your defensive line, he gave them the quality player of the game as a unit, so they controlled that part of the game also.
Yep. There's that old saying in football, you got to own the trenches.
Right.
And when you can own the trenches, you're going to win a lot of games. And right now, I'm really impressed with how both sides of the ball are playing in the trenches. And I think, yeah, overall the D-line played really great last night. Started with Dane Hastings. You know, he's our nose and senior leader in that group. He had a great game last night on the defensive line. So appreciate him setting a tone for us on that side of the ball. And we talked about earlier, they had a drive, and we kind of got after the D-line a little bit, and they stepped up and they fixed some things and started owning the trenches again.
Did you feel, as a coaching staff, that your guys really executed the game plan well that you had talked about and prepared for all week, looking at Caden Strand and what they brought out there offensively, and he's a playmaker for them? Did you feel that played out the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, you know, we prepared all week to, I mean, obviously their quarterback's a great player, and we thought that if we can kind of limit him, we had a great chance to win. And you know, he had his moments last night, and every great player is gonna, you know, they're gonna have their moments. You can't totally shut them down, but I feel like we did a great job of limiting him, and we got him in situations where they're behind, obviously, and they had to start passing more, and some of their scores were on short fields. They had that one drive, I feel like, and the others were kind of self-inflicted, I feel like, a little bit, and we gave them the short field. But yeah, I thought execution of our defense plan was really, really great last night.
Well, and of course, you've got another big opponent coming up here. East Grand Forks took care of Perham last night, 33-8 last night, the Green Wave with the win there. They're coming in for homecoming, and I know it's day after last night's game, so I don't know how much you have on East Grand, but what are you hearing about the Green Wave and what they might present?
Well, it's going to be another physical week of football. Similar style to what we've seen in DGF and DL. They got some boys up front, and we're going to have to take care of business there in the trenches, like I mentioned earlier, and they like to run the ball, control the clock, and they got some great skill players too. Just a good program overall, and we're just going to have to be ready and have a great week of work and practice and execute our game plan come Friday night.
You know what you're going to see when you have the ball as far as their defensive sets, what they like to run?
Yeah, they're under center, pro sets. Yeah, they just like they're very similar to DL. That way, DL lined up in pro against us last night, and I can think back last year to Morris. They're very similar in those pro sets, twin sets. So yeah, we just got to be able to focus on shutting down the run and not giving up big plays.
How about their defense? What are they going to put out
Oh,
there?
yep. So they run the same exact defense as pretty similar to Detroit Lakes. They run a 3-4 defense. Last year they played a lot of man on us, some cover 2, cover 4 looks. So yeah, we're going to have to, I mean, preparation-wise, offensively, you like to see back-to-back weeks where you see the same fronts. Yeah. So don't see a lot of adjustments, just got to, put some tweaks in there and just keep them guessing and off balance a little bit and go out there and see what happens Friday night.
And two things that you don't want to happen in a game, turnovers and penalties. What's the assessment of how you guys handled those categories last night?
Well, we had the one turnover. I think Henry fumbled the ball. It was a nice run. He had a great run. And, yeah, we just have to, in key moments of the game, I feel like we just got to work on protecting a ball a little bit better. And that'll come. The kids, they like to be challenged, and they like to have goals that we give them every week to work on, and that's going to be one of them. We've got to take care of the ball when there's defense, multiple defenders around us, and in key moments of the game. So that'll be something we work on throughout this week. And penalty-wise, yeah, no comment there, but...
Okay, fair enough. Now the most important question, the toughest week of the season coming up, because it's homecoming week. Mm-hmm. So all through the years, I've done this a long time, and coaches are always kind of on edge at the beginning of homecoming week, because everybody wants the football team to play well on homecoming night, and if they lose the football game or play badly, it kind of spoils the whole feeling of homecoming. And what's your take on how do you do anything different during homecoming week? Because there's a lot of stuff, peripheral stuff going on that you want your kids involved in. And I don't know if that's something you address in a different way or not.
The more I do this, the more you realize kids got to be kids, right? You just got to let them, this is an experience that is part of their high school experience, and we just got to allow that to happen. It is what it is, and we got to embrace that and maybe motivate the kids a little bit differently this week. And the past few years, 3, 4, 5 years, I've always said, enjoy your homecoming week, but when you step in between the lines, it's time to work. Yep. We got to forget everything else that's going on during the week, and that's really any week in preparation. Once you step inside those lines, hey, we're going to work.
Yep.
And so that's going to be our mindset and mentality going into this week.
All right. Well, there's going to be a huge crowd Friday night. That's always fun to play at the Otter Stadium field on a Friday night, and hopefully we get the same kind of weather we've been having and be a fun night of football.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful fall of football.
Unreal. Practices too, right?
Yeah, well, this week was a little hot. But but the night games are perfect.
Yeah, ideal. All right, thanks, Chris.
You bet.
Nice
Thank
job.
you.
Chris Grabowska, head coach of the Otter football team. They're 3-0, fans, 3-0. They've outscored their opponents I forget what it was now, 122-50. Yeah, that's pretty good through 3 weeks. All right, we're going to talk more Otter sports on the other side of the break. Rachel Cox will be here to talk Otter swim and dive. They had a good meet this past Thursday against Sartell, and also volleyball coming up shortly as well. We have boys soccer on the schedule and tennis all coming up in the remainder of our time. So don't go away. We'll be back with more here on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls has a fantastic starting lineup with America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Nelson Auto can help you enjoy your time out on the road. Check out our starting lineup at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
Hi, my name is Lori from LB Homes in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. We are growing our talented and dedicated team of LPNs, CNAs, and RNs, and we want to hear from you. Join our team and make a difference in the lives of our residents every day. To explore or apply, visit lbhomes.org/careers or call Heather at 218-998-1400. LB Homes, caring for you wherever you call home.
The tailgating sales event is going on now at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. All their pre-owned trucks are at the lowest prices of the year and come with tailgating gear like coolers, grills, and more. So if you're looking for a new truck to bring to your tailgates this year, contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for more information. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Minnesota Motor. Finding that missing shin guard. Remembering whether it's a home or away game. Getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan. Oh, come on, ref! That's simple human sense.
Visit the Arneson Agency at their new location, 120 East Lincoln, Fergus Falls.
Up to 12 months free hosting and maintenance on your new website. People are searching for your products and services online right now. Are you showing up? At Leighton Engage, we make websites that tell your story and drive results.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Welcome back to our Coaches Show. We are here Saturday mornings, fall and winter, on News Talk 1250 KBRF and on the KBRF YouTube channel also. And Rachel Cox is in to talk Otter girls swimming and diving. A busy week. You had the 2 meets. We talked about that last Saturday, about how that can be a challenge practice-wise. So how did it go for you with the 2 meets this week as far as getting the work in you wanted to get in around those meets?
Yeah, it is tough. Monday we still lifted, and the girls came out and they're like, how come we're lifting? We don't usually lift before a meet. I said, we got 2 meets this week, so we have to be diligent in our practicing. So it was practice as normal on Monday. We swam Sartell on Tuesday, pulled back just a little bit on Wednesday because we had to hit the road Thursday, and now the girls are at practice right now. Jen is there with them, finishing up some sets, and I'm bringing them breakfast after I leave here. So putting in an extra day of practice to make up for the competition in there.
Right. So, and next Saturday you've got your Otter invite, and you want to be on top of your game for that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We love winning that one. So nothing feels better than a win in your own pool. But also then when you have all those other teams, you get to see a lot of the competition in your section. But it's friendly competition. It's fun to have those local teams. Otherwise, we swim so many teams out of the St. Cloud area. So we'll have Perham and Morris, Minnewaska, and Thief River Falls on Saturday.
As long as I brought that up, what time does it all start? What do fans need to know about that Otter invite and when they should come?
Sure. The diving starts at 11. So diving will be 11 to 12. Then the swimmers will get in and warm up, and the swimming finals will start at 1 p.m.
Okay, so that'll be good. It used to be a long day where they had the prelims in the early part of the day and then came back for the finals at night, and got to be a little long for everybody, I think.
Yeah, and the divers, I think, appreciate, too, having like a dedicated space for them so that they can be warm, they can get all their dives in, and then transition over to the swimming finals.
Yeah, absolutely. Good day. So we'll get to see the Otters next Saturday in their home invitational. Okay, we're going to start with Sartell. and that was 102 to 82. You came up short on the score there, but overall, I mean, Sartell's one of the premier programs year in and year out in the Central Lakes Conference and even in the state. How did you feel overall about the performance of your girls?
They swam very well, and our divers did fantastic as well. We knew going in, I mean, Sartell, like Brainerd, those are really big teams. They've got a lot of talent, so we knew going in it was going to be a challenge, and especially a challenge keeping in mind that we've got a very competitive meet on Thursday. So, you know, keeping enough in the tank so that you're ready to go on Thursday. But the Sartell girls are amazing. They're very kind. Our girls like swimming against them. They've got a great coaching staff. So it again is friendly competition. But they had 50 girls on their team.
Oh, wow.
I was just blown away. I was talking to their coach at the end of the meet. I said, "Oh, you have such a big team." She goes, "Yeah, and I've got 50 more middle schoolers." So that was just their 9 through 12 was 50, and then they got 50 more middle schoolers. So it's just hard to compete with those numbers, and they have a ton of talent. But it was a very good meet.
Well, and one of the things we talked about last time we visited, Rachel, was how you were getting some seconds, thirds, and fourths. That continued here.
Yes, absolutely. That has continued to be our strength, is that, you know, we've got a lot of talent, not just in lane 4, but in 2 and 6 as well. So that helps us out in all these meets. We can score a lot of points just by having, a depth of talent.
Yeah, kind of exciting to see that. Looking up and down the lineup here, Olivia Jensen. Talk about Olivia a little bit, how she's come on for you, because she took second in the 200 free and then fourth in the 500 free for you, and she seems to be kind of settling into her roles.
Yeah, she last year she swam breaststroke a lot. You know, she was kind of developing as a breaststroker, and started on that 200 freestyle. At the beginning of the season, she goes, "I'd like to have a shot at the 5." So she's been swimming the 2 and the 5, and very consistently, week after week, she's dropping some time in that 500. It's a longer race, so there's room to play around with it, find what splits work best for you on those 50s. So we've had a lot of conversations about how do you pace it. Estee Versteeg swam the 500 a lot last year, so I've been pairing them up and having Estee share with her some of the tips and tricks, because you got 10 50s, and you have to know what your pace feels like. So you've got to know what 35 seconds feels like every time you're out there swimming those 50s. So there's some a mental component to that 500 that not all the other races have. Like a 50 free, you just get out there and swim.
Right.
Not that you don't plan it out, but once you're in the water, there's no time. So the 500 is different in that aspect. But she's really been killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and when someone asks the coach, "Hey, I want to try the 500," you don't turn them down.
We say yes every time.
Exactly. Well, how about Estee? She out-touched her opponent by, what, 100th of a second?
100th, yes. And
to win the 500.
Yes, we had so many races against Sartell that came down to that touch at the end, and we were getting out-touched every time. So Estee comes up, and it was so close, and I was like, "Oh, did we miss that touch too?" And I looked, and 1/100th of a second, she out-touched her. So it was amazing. And that was her first 500 swim of the season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And just to show you her versatility, she also did well in the 50 free, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. She can swim it all. I mean, yes, she's a very versatile swimmer. She's great in that IM too. I mean, she just has strength in all of the strokes, all of the distances. She's just a strong athlete all the way around.
Ella Kopinski won the 100 breast for you. How's she progressing in that event?
She's an amazing swimmer too. Again, very versatile. I can put her anywhere, and I have been. I mean, she's an 8th grader, so just want to see what she can do in many different avenues. So that we're using her to her best potential and to the benefit of the team, where we can get those points.
Yeah, I'm looking at your 200 freestyle relay team, and they won their event. And there's the swimmers who make up that team did pretty well in their individual events also.
Yes.
But boy, that seems to be a really solid group there, that foursome that you've got in that 200 free.
Yeah, they really push themselves. A lot of those girls have been working together for a long time on that relay. They've got some goals that they want to achieve. They don't always share them all with me. You know, they like to keep me guessing on a few of those things, but they are progressing really well. They would love to see that relay make it to state this year. So, and I would too. It would be amazing.
Well, after that performance, and you had some good ones there, you had just a wow meet against Rocori. You beat them 94-92, but it went down to the last event.
The last event, yes. So before I came here last Saturday, I started looking at the Rocori times, and I I knew it was going to be a close meet. I put together the lineup, and I didn't even dare score it out because I just knew it was going to be that close. So finally on the bus ride to Rocori, I was like, okay, what are we going to have? I predicted the meet would be 94-92.
Really? Oh, wow.
I don't think I've ever been spot on before. You know, I always try to have an idea of what I think it'll be. So that is the score. I thought it would be. How we got there was not how I thought we would get there. So going into that last event being 8 points down, knowing that we had to get first and second place in that 400 free relay, it was nerve-wracking. I don't think that I've ever been quite so nervous for a race before. And our A relay, I mean, they were out far enough ahead that I knew that they were safely going to get first. So all eyes were on our B relay and Rocori's A relay because it was neck and neck. And I mean, you mentioned Olivia Jensen before. She came in clutch with a split of 59 seconds and some change, which I think is almost a 4-second drop for her.
Oh, wow.
She's been pulling like about a 103. So to come in with that, but I caught her eye before she got on the block, and I just stared at her. I'm like, we need a number 2, we need a second place finish. And she's like, okay.
Yep.
So she got up there and she just killed it.
At Hannaford, Jersey Smith, and Ace Appy.
Yeah.
You're calling her Ace now?
Ace, yeah. And it's Oppie. I called her.
Oh, Oppie.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yes. I said Appy for I don't know how many years I had. I think she started swimming with me in 4th grade and finally, maybe last year, the year before, she's like, you know, it's Oppie.
I'm so glad to know that because that's one of the things in our business. We want to get pronunciations right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Good, thank you. Well, what a great finish to that meet. And you had outstanding performances again. And you mentioned diving a little earlier, and Michelle Lamau took first in this event for you. And she's adding to her repertoire, I would guess?
Yes, absolutely. And I told the divers yesterday, we all get together on Fridays, diver swimmers, we do like some team culture building, and I just said, you know, without the divers, we didn't win against Rocori because they came up big with a 1st, 2nd, and 4th place finish, which gives us 12 points out of 16 for an event, and without that, we don't finish on top. So it did come down to that last relay, but without everything building up to that point, we weren't in the position to win, and divers were amazing.
Alexis Wellman, she's so consistent for you, it seems. Same with Carly Peterson.
Yes. Yeah, Carly had a season best in the breaststroke. She's been struggling just a little bit to find that rhythm. So she had a great time drop on Thursday. We took a look at where she was at this point in the season last year, and now she's edged herself out a little bit. She's a little faster right now than she was last season. And Alexis Wellman, I thought we were going to come in with a 2nd place finish in that 200 free, and she came out with the 1st. So yeah, it was an amazing race for both of them.
Yeah, what a great week for the Otter swimmers. And now at Sauk Rapids Rice on Thursday, what are they like?
I have not dug into that yet.
You haven't scored that one
Not
yet, huh? Okay.
No, I had to get through last week. That was the first question. So Estee was the first one on the pool deck this morning for practice, and she goes, "What do you think about Sauk Rapids?" I said, "I don't know yet." She goes, "Well, I've been looking." Of course she has. She's got a better idea of what we're up against before every meet. I think it's going to be very competitive. Similar to Rocori, a lot of really close races. So we'll see what we get on Thursday.
All right. Well, have a great week of practice, a little more normal week of practice, and then the Otter Invite on Saturday for all the fans. That's a great day opportunity for them to come and get a look at the Otters. So.
Yeah, and we've got a fun Chuck-a-Duck fundraiser. So come in, good chance to win. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Nice week.
Yeah, thank you.
Enjoy your Saturday practice.
We will.
All right.
Saturdays are always fun practice.
Okay. Rachel Cox of the Otter Girls Swim and Dive Team. More to come on our program after this timeout on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Hi, my name is Lori, and I'm the housing manager at Sheridan House in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. If you're 55 or older and looking for a quiet and comfortable apartment with underground parking, meals available for purchase, a flexible month-to-month lease, plus $500 off your first month's rent, give me a call at 218-998-7404 or go to lbhomes.org/Sheridan. I'd love to show you around and see if Sheridan House is right for you.
Student athletes have their eyes on the ball, making game plans, scoring points, breaking records. At American Federal in Fergus Falls, we know you have goals too. Whether it's buying farmland, business expansion, home ownership, or planning for retirement. Our trusted advisor, Dustin Morris, will help you find the best solutions and make the right calls. Make a winning appointment with an American Federal banker in Fergus Falls today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Up to 12 months free hosting and maintenance when you start a new website project at Leighton Engage. Is your website grabbing attention or getting lost in the crowd? At Leighton Engage, we create websites that don't just look good, they work hard.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Kicking it up.
We are back, and we're talking Otter volleyball. Sabrina Noon is with us, the head coach of the Otters. They had a busy week, too, just like the swimmers. Last Saturday, Sabrina wasn't with us because they were in Marshall for a tournament, and then 2 trips to St. Cloud this week also to play Tech and Apollo. So you've kind of been road warriors here since I last saw you.
Yeah, we like that road.
I
Getting
guess
out there.
so. Get it behind us,
Yeah,
right? Well,
yeah.
At least you're, this time of year the weather's okay. It's not like you're going in the middle of winter. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's start with Marshall, and I know just from doing this for so many years, and the Otters have done that tournament for so many years, and it's so competitive, so many really good teams, and a couple of good days for you to kind of get people involved and see where you're at, right?
Yeah, we opened up with Lakeville North, and they are a beast of a team. I mean, they are very solid. They actually took the whole tournament. We started out with them and lost, and then we took on Medford, and it was a close game. I mean, it was back and forth, and we had every capability of taking the win on those, but we ended up losing that one. And then we had 3 games the next day, and we won 1 and lost 2. We tried a lot of different rotations. We got a lot of different girls in different situations, which was really good to see. We switched a couple things around. We found something that we started getting comfortable in, and we saw a spark in, and so we're kind of settled on it, and we're gonna keep building off of that. A little bit of a change from the start of the season, but we're excited about it, and I think it has a lot of possibilities in our team.
Okay, now I'm curious, what is the change?
Well, we were running a 6-2 before a little bit, and for those that are unfamiliar with the 6-2, that's where you have 2 setters, and the setters are coming from the back row. So that it creates, there's a lot of strengths out of a 6-2, but there's also a lot of inconsistencies with a 6-2. You get different setters, so hitters are hitting against different setters, and just kind of getting used to that. The flow of the game is sometimes the biggest obstacle in a 6-2. So we kind of went to a 5-1, and we really like the flow of it. But in our 5-1, we can also do a modified 5-1. Which is where we have one setter that's setting all the way around, but we also have the capability, if we modify it, my other setter can also, we can sub for the setter for the setter. Normally for a 6-2, you'd sub a setter for a hitter. But anyway, so we sub a setter for a setter, and it gives another setter an opportunity to play some front row if we need a bigger block on the right side, or if we need a change in pace. So we still have flexibility with it, but it builds a little bit more consistency on our floor, which is exciting. Unfortunately, it does take out one of our hitters. That's one of the parts that we don't always love, and so we're just trying to navigate around that portion of it. And so yeah, it's there's just always so many possibilities, and so with our 5-1, we are we're really building off of using 2 hitters in the front row instead of 3.
Okay. And you did that this week against St. Cloud in your matches?
Yep. So against Apollo, we did a 5-1, and we were able to get a lot of girls in, and it was really exciting to see girls on the floor taking on challenges and kind of rising to the challenges, which was awesome. And the biggest part about that game is that we controlled it. We limited our errors. We made better decisions with the ball. We kept our serves in, and our serve receive was solid across the board. So those are the things that our team knows that we need to do, and those are things that we're striving to do every day in practice and in games. In St. Cloud Tech, we also ran the 5-1. St. Cloud was an interesting game. They're a very good team. Yep. They're very scrappy, and they have some good hitters, and they just can keep the ball alive. And it was back and forth play, long rallies. They were very, very exciting moments with big hits and big digs. And with that, we had lulls in our game, basically. We'd have a run where our serve receive was a little bit off, and we'd give them like 6 points in a row. And then we'd have a lull where our serve receive is on, but then our hitting was just not connecting. And so each game, there was a run of about 5 to 6. One run of like 5 to 6. And that's what we lost by every game.
Yeah.
So just stopping that one run, we are a notch behind where we need to be. We are so close, and we are going to get there. So that part's exciting, and it's really fun to see the girls see it, and I feel like they're starting to believe they can get there, so that's fun.
Well, 3-zip win over Apollo, and just looking at some of the stats from that, it looks like defensively you really did a nice job with Hannah Johnson and Brooke Johnson and Bryn Sternberg all in double digits on the kills. Is that something that you have really seen progress here in the early season, where you're picking up that first hit and getting the ball in a position where you can, transition into your attack?
Yeah, it's actually really fun because with our hitters, they're all very versatile. So we have a lot of capabilities across the net. It's a lot of fun. So if we kind of get stuck in a rotation, my hitters are not just outside. They can run a middle set. They can run a slide coming behind the setter, which is something that we've never been comfortable doing. Or my girls can flip in the front row. Like sometimes my middle and my right side will say, "Hey, I'm wanting to hit some middle," and so they'll flip their positions, which is really fun. And they know the game well, so they're able to do that, which in the past we've sometimes struggled with. And so this year it's really fun for them. I look out on the court and they make that switch themselves, which is great because they are finding ways to get a side out, which is exactly what we need to do.
All right. So your hitters that night, again, you had just a great distribution. Like you said, you've got a number of options there, and they came through for you. And it looks like Aubrey Aday did most of the setting for you that night, 21 set assists for you. And Aubrey's new to the program varsity this year, so she seems to be progressing well, too, for her first varsity action.
Yeah, Aubrey is a student of the game. You can just see her mind constantly, the gears going as we're talking to her, and she's wanting to know the methods of the rhythms of finding the game, of who to set in which situations, and when to possibly attack herself, being sometimes in the front row. With Aubrey being right now in the setting role for the 5-1, she's a little bit shorter, and so sometimes we don't have a block necessarily on the big outsides that we're facing in the CLC. So that's actually where Kendall Hansen can come in. And Kendall Hansen has beautiful hands, and so she does a really good job setting as well. And so if we're needing a block and we're needing a change in pace, Kendall's ready to go in and step in and fill that role as a blocker and setter, and so she does a really fantastic job of that as well.
Well, and sometimes it's easier for someone who has a little more varsity experience or experience on the court to do that, step into that. It's not an easy role to come off the bench like that in certain situations and be ready to go.
Yeah, Kendall does a really good job of staying in the game and realizing what she needs to do and when she needs to do it. And so she has been such a crucial player for us in those moments of getting in there and taking on her role when we need her and being super positive. So she's just really great to have on there as well in that role because we need her for sure. So that's great.
Something else that jumped out at me when I was looking at your stats from this week, there were several ace serves that you were putting up. Is that becoming more a part of your serving game, or was it just kind of the way the matchup was this week?
Possibly due to the matchup with Apollo. We did play a very hard game. A lot of the teams have very good serve-receive teams. We have really been focusing on getting our serves lower to the net and focusing on what type of serve, whether we're going to do it with topspin or a float serve. The float serve is a really hard serve to receive, and so we kind of focus on that and the speed, but overall consistency. I mean, we can't have aces if we don't have consistency. So that's our number one priority at this point, is not missing opportunities to get the ball in play for us to get points. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, this week, got a couple more of those Central Lakes Conference opponents. Don't have to take 2 trips to St. Cloud this week.
No.
Only one in that area this week.
Yep, just one.
You know, that's always, well, the Otters have been in this situation forever where you have to go to St. Cloud twice, to Sartell, to Sauk Rapids, to Rocori, to Wilmer, and there's a lot of road trips. And it just gets me. I've talked to coaches from that area, and they'll say, yeah, we have to go to Fergus next week. And it's like, oh, so that's so sad because most of their road trips are 10 or 15 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
So we do a pretty good job as road warriors, no doubt.
Yes.
But you have a home match with Sartell on Tuesday and then Sauk Rapids on the road on Thursday.
Yeah.
What are we looking at as far as competition there?
They're going to be tough. Sartell always has a very good program, and they have a lot of height. So we're going to have to really make sure we can work around their block. That's one thing our hitters are focusing on, is not necessarily just going up to swing, but going up with a purpose and an intent of where you're wanting to place that ball, and finding those blockers and seeing where their hands are. And, you know, we have methods of going line, or we go cross court, or, and if, you know, we don't always need to hit the ball hard to get a kill, like placing the ball with a tip is always very crucial in those games. Sartell is actually our homecoming game as well.
Yep.
And we are playing, the varsity is actually playing over at Roosevelt.
Ah, okay.
For Tuesday. Fun. And then our freshman and JV, other JV team is going to be playing in the Gold Gym. So they'll get a chance to play on the big court in the Gold Gym, and we're going to get a chance to play over at Roosevelt. And Sauk Rapids is tough. They always run a very strong middle offense. And we are going to have to figure out a way to make sure we have a double block up on that middle all the time. Otherwise, our back row will have to really work hard to read those hitters, because they are a very solid team, and they're scrappy. They're scrappy as well. They know how to get the ball up and place the ball. So we just have to figure out a way to fight back and do the same.
All right. And your JVers are busy today. They're over at DGF, huh?
They are in DGF. We were just talking about that the other day. Our JV team has had a really strong showing at all the levels. Every team they've played, they've having a lot of wins and playing really well. So we're excited to see what they're going to do in this tournament.
All right. Great, Sabrina. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Sabrina Noon, the head coach of the Otter volleyball team. We're going to talk more Otter sports, boys soccer. Joel Hike is coming in, and then Jamie Lill with Otter girls tennis, too. All coming up in the next half hour on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Sports and farm information. News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus Falls. Depend on it.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls has a fantastic starting lineup with America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Nelson Auto can help you enjoy your time out on the road. Check out our starting lineup at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Every moment counts if you're at risk or living with lung cancer. And anyone with lungs can get lung cancer. It causes more cancer deaths than breast, colon, and prostate combined. It can feel like a race against time. And while there may be moments where you question your next step, it's essential to know that you don't have to confront lung cancer alone. Through it all, Go-To for Lung Cancer is here for you. From screening, treatment, and survivorship support to finding the right care close to home, we are your community. As your friends, your guides, your teachers, your advocates, and your support system, Go-To is your go-to. Confronting lung cancer starts here. Visit goto.org today.
Back on our Saturday morning coaches show as we are live on Newstalk 1250 KBRF and on the KBRF YouTube channel. Joel Heikus is with us, head coach of the Otter Boys soccer team. They had 2 matches this past week, a tough 2-1 loss to Ricori on Tuesday, and then a 3-0 win in East Grand Forks on Thursday. And one thing was kind of typical in both those matches, Joel. You had slow first halves. You didn't get the ball, and then in either first half, trailed at halftime against Ricori, scoreless at halftime against East Grand. So what's the secret to turning that around? Is that a concern at all?
Oh, yeah, that's what we were looking at this week now, and we're gonna change some things up this coming week, the way we format our practices, and see if we can start our practices faster and bring that into the game time. Because it's been kind of all year long, and then soccer is an endurance game, so a lot of times the goals are scored towards the end of the game on that team that's better conditioned. But we number of games this year we've come out flat, and then you start coming around, and to come out fast just makes a big difference. I mean, I think back to the Wilmer game, it was the same thing. They scored a goal early, and that game was just a 2-1 game as well, so that one was within reach, and to get down early is not where we want to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good to know that even though that's happening, you're still right in the game to the end, and maybe it won't take much of a tweak to get that flipped around. So we'll see how that approach works this week. But against Ricori, how much of the lack of your production in the first half was what they were doing to you and denying you passing lanes or opportunities, or was it more just the ineffectiveness of you getting things going?
Yeah, I would say it was more on us.
Okay.
I mean, they came out pretty fast, but they got their first goal was just a nice break. They just found us kind of flat-footed and brought it in and scored. And had we been a little bit more on our toes, that shouldn't have happened. And then the second goal was just kind of a lapse. Our goalie stepped out of the box before he got the kickoff, sending the ball out, so they got a free kick right at the top of the box. And they did a nice job with it. I mean, they, instead of kicking right at the wall like a lot of people do, they did a little pass and got around it, and that was, so that was the 2 goals. So yeah, it wasn't. It was more on us, not being ready and coming out flat for sure.
And you got the lone goal of the second half off a penalty kick, right?
Right. Yeah, and we. But the second half was, we owned the possession. We had more shots on. And when you get down in there, good things like that happen. And yeah, Aiden Shaky had a breakaway, and he was, very likely he was going to score, and so the guy figured, well, I'll take you down, and so yeah, I ended up with a PK out of it. But.
Okay, so you lost that one 2-1, but maybe going on the road to East Grand, you came out. You always wonder, long bus trip, do you have the legs when you get off the bus? Is that kind of an issue sometimes when you're traveling like that? Does it take a while just kind of get into the flow?
Well, and that one especially because there was a little miscommunication, and we got up there and they didn't have a JV team to play, so we got up there and we were a couple hours early, so we found a field to practice on and kick the ball around a little bit. But that really, it actually surprised me how much it really kind of got in the guys' heads. That was. They just, the first half, we were frustrated, and we were just, because, it was a change. It wasn't what we were expecting. And
sure.
So, that bus trip was really kind of a mess. Because, we should have had a few more in the net in that game. But it was just, getting our minds back in the right place.
So what turned it around for you in the second half? How did you get going? What jump-started you there?
Well, I had a pretty good conversation with a couple of our seniors, and said, hey, you gotta take this thing. You gotta settle down, make passes, don't get that frustration out of there. And they did a good job. They came right out in the second half and just started controlling the ball and not trying to force things. And that really brought the whole team along to work together.
Jaden, talked about Jaden just a little while ago with Chris Grabowska, he was 5 for 5 on field goals last night for the Otter football team, but he's also one of the key guys for your soccer team, and he got you going with your first goal with a steal of the ball at midfield that set up your first opportunity went in the net anyway. So he's been a real key for you in that midfield area.
Oh yeah, he's my athlete with the most experience out there, and he's worked so hard, and he doesn't always show in goals. He's got a few goals or a couple goals this year, but it's the assists and it's the control of the field. He'll if that ball's in the middle, he's gonna steal it, and he's usually gonna do good things with it. So he's really the leader out there on how that game is gonna go.
And I know from the description of your goals that you scored in this game and in other games. You've got a good passing team. They seem to move the ball really well between players and make the most of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at our goals that we've scored this year, 2 of them have came from defense. Alec Prishman and Quinn Sheldon have both scored goals. That's a good thing. And then Matthew got a goal here recently, Matthew Toole, and so we're really spreading it out. And that's just a key of a good passing team and a non-selfish team, and that's what you want going into the later part of your season for sure.
And looking at the second half scoring, looks like Benjamin Gustav was in on all 3 goals, got 2 of them and got an assist on 1.
Yep, he's been a great addition to the team. Again, we talk about frustrations and things, and we gotta get him to. He's young, he's just a freshman, and so we. If he gets frustrated, we got to work on it. But when he's playing cool, he's a really good asset to the team.
And his last goal was set up by Josh Horgan, who got him the ball. So there's another guy that's getting the ball to somebody in a better shooting position.
Yep. Yeah. We unfortunately had an injury late in that game, and then we did get a yellow card where I was like, I don't know if I want this guy out here. So a couple bench players got some time out there, and he got a few minutes and played really aggressive, and was putting the ball in a good spot. So.
Yeah, fun to see them get success when they get that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Like that. So,
yep.
Well, a good win, a 3-0 road win, especially after you get off the bus and realize there's no JV team to play. That's a bummer for your JV guys.
Yeah, it really is, and they've been playing well too. So this was a game we really wanted to play because it's a team. A lot of times you go into the CLC teams and their JV has all varsity area seniors and juniors. And it's tough to play against with younger guys and. So it's fun to play these teams where we're a little more matched in age.
Yeah. Apollo and Tech this week, homecoming week, so you get 2 home games.
Yeah, it should be a really fun week. Apollo's, they're a beatable team. They're CLC, but we should be able to match up on them. We've been watching them. Alec beat them last week in a tight game. I think it was 2-1, and. So that should be a fun one, and Tech too. They're always a good program, a huge program with a lot of athletes. But if we can maintain the ball, control possession, yeah, we can. Any team is beatable out there if you control the ball. So. Yeah.
And you're getting a little healthier, right?
Yeah, I hope so. We had Isaiah Lawson was out with a concussion for a while. He should be back. Feldbaum had to miss a game because of a hard hit he took in East Grand, and he'll be back. And so, we should be good there as far as health-wise.
Okay, all right, and hopefully the JV team gets to play twice this week.
I think they will. They should on this one. Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy homecoming week, and the best way to enjoy that is with a couple of wins, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Very good, Joel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joel Hike is the head coach of the Otter Boys soccer team. One more coach to do this morning is Jamie Lill is waiting in the wings. We'll talk Otter girls tennis when we come back here on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your forecast from the KBRF Weather Center. Ample sunshine expected today with daytime highs approaching 80. Southerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 65. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 85. 84 Monday with a slight chance of thunderstorms. 82 Tuesday, storms continue. Currently, it's 66 degrees.
The tailgating sales event is going on now at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. All their pre-owned trucks are at the lowest prices of the year and come with tailgating gear like coolers, grills, and more. So if you're looking for a new truck to bring to your tailgates this year, contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for more information. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Want to spark the love of music in your family? A family membership to the Fergus Falls Concert Association is a perfect way to start. 6 outstanding concerts in Fergus Falls, plus your membership extends beyond Fergus Falls. Enjoy concerts in Wadena, Sauk Center, and Alexandria at no extra cost. On September 27th, experience the timeless hits of Billy Joel with Sing Us a Song, You're the Piano Man, featuring the superb showmanship of Jim Witter. On November 11th, classic combines with pop with Boyd Meets Girl, a cello and guitar duo that is performed around the world. Thanks to the generous support of Concert Association sponsors Quality Toyota, Nickel Moe and Ellig, Bayer Body and Towing, Minnesota Motor Company, Olson Funeral and Cremation Service, and Glendy Nelson Funeral and Cremation, Service Food, Ottertail Power Company, Kreckelberg Law Firm, and Pioneer Care. Season tickets are on sale now at the Victor Lundin Company or through your neighborhood ticket seller. Inspire a lifelong love of music in your family with the Fergus Falls Concert Association.
Up to 12 months free hosting and free maintenance on your new website. What's your website saying about your business? At Leighton & Gage, we create websites that don't just look good, they work hard. Our designs catch the eye, and our functionality keeps visitors engaged, driving real results for your business. And right now, we're offering up to 12 months of free hosting and maintenance when you start a new website project with us. For a limited time only.
Leighton & Gage. Find your focus.
One more go around here, and what a way to end. Jamie Lill is here, the head coach of the Otter girls tennis team, and wow, what a week for the Otters. Started with a 5-2 win over Brainerd and continued with a pretty fun Thursday too, but last Tuesday, Jamie, that hasn't happened for a long time, even before your time coaching, right?
Right, yeah, we have not gotten Brainerd at least since before 2012. Norm doesn't remember it either, so it's been a while. Tuesday night was such an amazing night for all of our girls, and it was an absolute complete team effort, and yeah, we got them 5-2, and it felt really, really good.
Well, and the singles, you had 2 matches that went to the third set.
Oh, yeah. Single, okay, just to show you how this played out.
Yes.
Well, Ruby Cruz, she was done in like a half hour at one single, so great match. I don't want to downplay that, but it was so non-dramatic compared to the other 6 courts that were like complete drama. So Ruby just took care of business and went on her way. And Layla at 2 played an amazing match against an undefeated girl. Brooke Mulholland has been amazing for Brainerd for a long time. Layla played really, really well. She did her absolute best in her job and didn't come out with a win, but 4-2, super respectable. Good job for Layla. Then you get Allie out there at 3 and just trying to get her money's worth on the court. You know, you can't get much closer than 6'4", 4'6", 6'3". She really took to it and just owned that third set, which is exactly what we needed after dropping the second set. So that was really a big win for her. And then we threw Carson Lill over in at 4 singles, and we just knew we needed some patience down there. And thankfully, Carson is the one for that job because she'll stay out there all day and just wait for somebody to make a mistake. Not always the most exciting tennis. It was a 3-hour match, Craig.
Oh,
We were
wow.
running out of daylight. They started at 4:30. It was 7:30 or 7:28 when they finally were going to shake hands. And, like, honestly, daylight was becoming an issue, but it was just back and forth, and every point took forever. I actually missed some changeovers on some other courts because you can't run across court when somebody's playing. And a whole changeover would happen while 1 point was still happening in that match.
wow.
So it was great stuff. Carson did her job that day. As unexciting as it might have been, she just stayed the course. And to drop the first set, she was playing a really good senior from them, just a consistent girl. And Carson hasn't played very much singles. So she just really stayed the course, turned it around after the first set, and took care of business in a 3-hour marathon match.
Oh, wow. Bet she slept well after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
huh?
She was begging for a slushie. I'm like, I will buy you anything if you just finish this match, kid. Like, but yeah, get the W. But she did her job.
And Hattie Fullhart and Ashton Lill stayed undefeated.
They did, and this, let me tell you, Craig. So this, we knew this would be a huge match. Erica Folden is one of the doubles players, and then she teamed up with Leah Sukup. And Erica was on the #1 doubles team last year that beat Hattie and Ashton at sections, and Erica ended up making it to state with her partner. Very, very good team. I mean, Brainerd went as a team, and their top singles and their top doubles team went. So we knew we had good competition coming. And, I mean, you don't get much closer than 7-6, 7-6 for a win.
Right.
And it was a 2.5-hour doubles match. When you can get a doubles match to take that long and only be 2 sets, if they had split sets, we would run out of daylight too. I will say Ashton and Hattie had kind of like the deer in the headlight look to start the match. They weren't playing their best by any means, but they competed so well. And so we were talking through the highs and lows of that mentally, but on changeovers, because Hattie's like, my forehand's just off, and we're just trying to work our way in. But they stayed in it mentally and got the big points, and that's really, I mean, it was a few points here and there that got them that match. And so great win for them, and like an eye-opening thing where we didn't play our best, but we still did our job.
And great battles from your 2 and 3 doubles. You got 3 doubles, but a good battle at 2 also.
Yes. And so Dylan then partnered up with Annie Mayer. So Annie slid up to 2, which is an adjustment for her, and with a different partner. They hadn't played together before. And they played a great match. They came up, when you get teams as good as a Brainerd or a Bemidji, 2 doubles looks a lot like 1 doubles. So when you're Annie used to playing at 3 doubles, and you slide up to play some teams that look like 1 double, the pace is so different. So it's not that Dylan and Annie didn't do everything we asked of them. The pace was just a little too much. These girls were really good at finishing points, and that's when things like not being as precise on your shot selection or placement, you can pay for that, and they did a little bit that day. But they went out there, battled, and they did their job just like Layla did at 2. They didn't get the W's, but without those girls at 2 and Layla at 2, everybody else's job would have been a lot harder. So awesome match for them. And then we got to put Kaya and Siri Smestead together then at 3, and they took care of business. They made us sweat a little bit at the end of that second set there. We were worried we were maybe going to head for a third, but they just took care of it, and it was just an awesome team win for us. And the girls were jacked.
5-2 victory over the Brainerd Warriors to start the week. And then you went to Bemidji for a triangular, and you knew the Lumberjacks are going to give you everything you wanted, but how exciting a match that was. You came up short, 4-3, but could have gone the other way pretty easily.
Oh, for sure. We were right in it, and they were exactly what we thought. I got to give kudos to Ruby on this match. We knew she'd have a tough match, and she started off, and after 3 games, and she's like, I'm having trouble breathing, and it was the air quality things, and it was super hot, and we were playing at noon, so it's really in the middle of the daylight, and she didn't feel well. She dropped the first set 6-3, and she just stayed the course knowing that this point is going to matter for you and for your team, and honestly, not playing her best tennis, battled through, came back and got that set 6-4 and won it in a third pretty convincingly, and just a great mental win for Ruby, just like the 1 doubles the time before, just not playing her best, but battling as the competitor that she is and getting that huge point for us at 1. Then 2, 3, 4 singles, God, they're good. And we were not expecting them not to be, because their records are 12-1, 13-0. These girls haven't really lost a lot. Well, the most surprising thing, the 2 and 3, Allie and Layla gave them a great run. They were very consistent girls. At 4, the surprising thing, we threw Carson back in at 4 there. But Morgan, I'm not even going to say that last name, Morgan from Bemidji, a senior playing 4 singles, we weren't prepared for a 4 singles player to serve and volley and be at the net all day. She had a wingspan like a monster. She was 6 feet tall, and she did not play your typical 4 singles. So Carson was a little taken aback by that. Her game isn't really that style. Now we know, and we could partner up somebody else who wants to go for a little bit more next time. But great matches by those girls. They did exactly what they should have done. And the doubles.
Hey.
Yeah, the doubles. And honestly, Hattie and Ashton, after Tuesday's match, we came up with a new game plan. I talked to them after 3 games into this one. And those two, I mean, they're both 4.0 students, and they're thinkers, and they're analyzers. And I said, okay, here's the deal. Quit thinking. Just go out there and play tennis. Like, your instincts will take over. Have some fun, because Tuesday, granted, things weren't going awesome for them Tuesday, but they just tried to analyze everything so much. I'm like, how about this? All you two can say to each other is, let's go and be pumped up, and let Norm and I do the job of telling you the X's and O's. And they started smiling and hitting freely, and this is a good team. This is their best team from Bemidji, and they took them 6-2, 6-3 pretty darn routinely.
Wow.
So, and it was so good to see those two just relax and play some fun tennis, because I think they're feeling the pressure of that 18-0. Like, everybody wants to get them, and but so that was a great win for them.
And then Kaya Ness and Dylan Will were together at second, and again, new doubles partners there, but they did great.
So they did do great. And honestly, after that was just a little flip we made between the 2s and 3s from the previous match, trying to beef up our 2 a little bit. And what we learned there with Dylan and Kaya, they played great tennis. It ended up going 3 sets. They had lost the first set and battled. And in the end, those 2 upperclassmen from Bemidji had serves and power that just 8th grade Dylan and sophomore Kaya couldn't quite match. They played smart. They did everything we asked of them. That was a great match, and we'll probably make another change if we were to get to see Bemidji again, but they did an awesome job.
Yeah. And you did get the 3rd doubles with Annie and Siri.
Yeah, and that's kind of, they haven't played much together this year, but I've learned that some of these girls now, I can just throw them out and say, this is your partner today, and they know the X's and O's enough and personalities enough. These 2 seniors are friends, and they can just hop out there, and they did a great job just kind of handling business over there. So great match.
Bemidji wins the match 4-3, but you learned a lot about your team and the matchups, and it'll be interesting when you see them again, if and when you see them again.
Absolutely. And now all of a sudden we're Brainerd fans, because if Brainerd can beat Bemidji, it puts us in a little bit of a seeding issue that doesn't necessarily put Bemidji at top, and we still have a chance there.
So now the questioning of the coach here. Now, you broke up your #1 doubles team against Moorhead. What in the world? It's so hot, Jamie.
It's such an easy answer, Craig. Ruby worked her tail off to get that Bemidji point for us, and she was just spent.
Yeah.
And you know Hattie Fullhart. I said, Hattie, I got to give Ruby a little break here. She can't go back on the court in 10 minutes against what we know is going to be a huge competitor. And Hattie's like, I got this. You bet. Hattie's never even played singles for us before. She's just going to hop in and play 1 singles like it's no thing, because she's Hattie Fullhart. So honestly, the rationale behind that was simply how hard Ruby had worked, and we knew what to expect from Moorhead. We had beaten them 6-1 earlier this year, and we weren't worried about a team thing there. So Hattie slid over to 1. We put Ruby and Ashton together. They cruised in doubles. So it all worked out very well. We weren't trying to break up the band. We were just trying to save on one of their bodies. So that was really the rationale there.
Okay, I knew there was a real good reason for that. But that was one of those matches, though. You win 6-1. You had some straight set wins there. Moorhead's not in the same category as Bemidji and Brainerd, obviously, but how good is it to have a match, I don't want to say an easy match, but a less stressful match against a team like Moorhead after having the 2 previous battles this week?
Yes, that was great for our girls, too. And just to go out and let, I mean, honestly, Carson and Dylan have been used to be playing 2 doubles together all year, and I've been separating them because of lineup changes just to meet the team's needs. So to let them play together again, let Kaya get some singles in there, throw out a new doubles team, getting Julia Highcheck back in that varsity lineup, and Avery Bartholomew, they played at 3 and they got a win for us. Just a nice, I won't say a relaxing match, because these girls, I will tell you, Moorhead improved so much at 2 and 3 singles from the last time we saw them, at 2 and 3 doubles from the last time we saw them. So we had some good matches out there, but I could breathe a little easier that day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, great week. Now
Yes.
what? Well, it's homecoming week. Do
It's
your girls, number one question, do your girls get to play powder puff football or not?
You know, they broke the news to me that they ordered the shirts. The one who lives at my house is like, well, I ordered a shirt. And I'm like, did you ask if you could play? So they're going to be real cautious, but there's really no stopping them from having this kind of fun.
Well, I can imagine trying to tell you back in the day that you
Yeah.
weren't going to play. No, that
Oh,
would
no.
not work.
And I wasn't pretending it was flag football. I was practically tackling.
Absolutely.
So these girls are going to do the flag football thing. They're gonna follow the rules, I'm sure. But
You're a legend, you know, when it comes to that.
to you, I'll say,
Yes,
yeah. Nobody in my house thinks that. They just roll their eyes and say, come on, Mom.
So what is on the agenda match-wise this week for the Otters?
Our slowest week of the whole season, which is
Good.
perfect timing. It is our last home match of the season on Tuesday. We've got Ricori, which should be a real good, tough match for us. I expect us to be successful in that match, but really competitive on all the courts. And then we travel to Sauk Rapids on Thursday. So 2 duels. This is the slowest week we've had by far. So
Everybody's going to Sauk Rapids on Thursday. I think
it's the place to be, Craig. Come on out.
I guess it is,
Yeah.
you know, but
You can hit the courts and then hit the gym and whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Yeah, some good restaurants around there too, I think.
Oh,
so,
sure.
all
The
right.
girls love when we travel to Sauk Rapids because what they get to eat afterwards
Right.
is probably the highlight. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, have a great homecoming week, and we're getting down to it, Jamie. You don't have a lot of matches left. One more home match, and that's Tuesday.
That's Tuesday. Yeah, then the one other this week. Then we've got 4 next week. They're all on the road, and playoff week starts the 1st, October 1.
Unreal.
I've got lineups due next week, Craig. I don't. What lineups am I throwing into my postseason, man?
Some of them I could help you out, just fill in the blanks pretty easily.
Okay, yeah, well,
all right.
thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Jamie. Great
All right.
week for the Otter girls tennis
All right,
team.
thanks a lot, Craig.
All right. And that's going to do it for our program this morning. We thank you for joining us. We're back again next week at 8 a.m. on our YouTube channel, KBRF YouTube channel. Thanks for looking in. And on News Talk 1250, KBRF.